American gymnastics star Simone Biles shocked fans across the world Tuesday when she withdrew from the women's gymnastics team final. The 24-year-old performed a single vault before deciding to not continue with the competition. After she withdrew, Russia went on to win one of the 6 gold medals Biles was expected to bring home this year. Team USA ended up winning a silver medal for the event. Biles said she made the decision to withdraw so she can focus on her mental health.
And it's been really stressful, this Olympic Games, I think, just as a whole, not having an audience. There are a lot of different variables going into it. It's been a long week. It's been a long Olympic process. It's been a long year. So just a lot of different variables, and I think we're just a little bit too stressed out. But we should be out here having fun, and sometimes that's not the case. Yeah, I say put mental health first, because if you don't, then you're not going to enjoy your sport and you're not going to succeed as much as you want to. So it's okay sometimes to even sit out the big competitions to focus on yourself, because it shows how strong of a competitor and person that you really are, rather than just battle through it.
For more on this, I want to bring in Dr. Brandi Jackson. She is a psychiatrist and co-founder of the Institute for Antiracism in Medicine. Dr. Jackson, welcome. Thanks very much for being with us. What do you make of Simone Biles' comments about why she left the competition, and what kinds of mental health challenges might professional athletes like her be facing?
Well, thank you so much for having me. First of all, I didn't think it was possible for me to be any more impressed or in awe of Miss Biles, but what happened in that statement about mental health is just incredible. Simone Biles has a tremendous power and influence over so many people, especially people of color, who are watching and want to know, is it okay to prioritize my own mental health? And this was such a strong, positive statement.
Well, Simone Biles is widely regarded as the greatest gymnast in history. Could the pressure to maintain that title be impacting her mental health?
It's impossible that it wouldn't. The amount of pressure that athletes are under in general, and then when you step it up and look at, the Olympics, the highest level of competition, it's incredible. And it isn't just about the physical. Simone talks about this. It's about the mental game being so important. So it's a tremendous pressure. I know it's a tremendous honor, but with that comes just so much pressure to perform. It's a lot of stress on the mind.
What is the significance, Doctor, of having prominent athletes? Because it's not just Simone Biles. We also saw, for instance, tennis star Naomi Osaka withdraw from the French Open because of mental health reasons. Why is that significant to have these kind of prominent athletes having these very public kind of conversations about mental health?
It just can't be overstated how important disclosures like this are. It really gives normal folks like me and you permission to speak about our own mental health. And there really has been a vacuum of leadership for a long time in this area. So to see celebrities and athletes using their privilege and power to speak truth, to speak about their own struggle, to humanize themselves, it empowers other people to do the same and reach out for help for the things that they may be dealing with.
I mean, how much do you think that will help those as far as reducing stigma around mental health and mental illness, those who maybe feel like they haven't gotten a lot of support in the past if they've tried to reach out to, say, caregivers or loved ones about the struggles that they may be contending with?
I think that it's a really scary thing to realize that your mind and your emotions are not where you want them to be. It's a scary thing, especially in this country where we still have tremendous stigma just around speaking about mental health. So the more folks who are athletes and politicians and congresspeople, in addition to regular, normal people who are willing to speak about their mental health, again, I just can't emphasize enough what this means for really the movement towards bringing mental health and speak of mental health to the national stage.
You know, there are some who have been critical, saying that these athletes in particular just need to essentially toughen up. What would be your response to that?
I cannot stand that critique. I hate hearing that because there is such a vulnerability with sharing what you're going through when it comes to mental health, that what I like to see is people who are applauded for that, people who are lifted up for that. This toughen up attitude that's in athletics, but also in our entire society, it's so problematic. It makes people feel that, well, maybe I shouldn't talk about it. Maybe I should just muscle my way through. And we know that does not work. And we know that that actually causes more problems for that person.
And Dr. Jackson, can you talk about some of the challenges that women of color in particular might be facing as athletes and the scrutiny that comes with that role?
Black women are scrutinized heavily, whether it's the tone of voice, the way we do our hair, the way we speak, and then you take that pressure and you add the pressure of competing on really a global stage. People are always commenting, and we are human beings. This stuff hurts. This stuff matters. And simply, it's time for us to change as a country and give Black women the space that they deserve to be vulnerable. And when they are vulnerable, to be received with love and understanding rather than being told to tough it up. We deserve to be vulnerable too, and to express that with words and with our actions.
Well, certainly a conversation is happening now, and it is continuing around this issue of mental health in a way that I don't think, Doctor, could have necessarily happened in years past. Dr. Brandi Jackson, really good to have your insight. We really much appreciate your perspective. Thank you.
Thank you very much.